Warm greetings from the high 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Hope you all have had a great week. It's Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. Many of you will have plans, I'm sure. Please be safe. Many will probably check out for the UT Florida game. Go Vols. All right, everybody. This is a two-part live pertaining to fires being set in Memphis, Tennessee. A suspect has been ID'd. I'm going to start at the beginning of this story and bring you up to date pertaining to the person of interest in this bizarre story of fires being set in southwest Memphis. Why this person is setting fires, I do not know, but when I get to said information, I'll bring it to you. The second part of this live is pertaining to two teens found discarded in the woods in rural North Carolina, an African-American male, 18 years of age, and a Caucasian female, 14 years of age. It has been stated that these two were friends. They lived in neighboring towns and went to two separate high schools. That will be the second part of this live. Thank you so much for joining me. Loading my video, everybody. Thanks so much. Hello.
Investigators are searching for the person believed to have sparked at least 8 fires in southwest Memphis.
Kind of low.
Spoke to a resident in that area. That person tells him this is part of a larger problem. In the last 3 months, Memphis firefighters have responded to 8 fires in the 381.
Let me start this over. This audio is very low for some reason. Hold on one second. Oh, mercy. I'm going to find some other content because this audio is too low. I can't hear it myself. I don't know why the articles, for some reason, their audio is always low in their content. Hello, Jiggy. How are you?
Fires in southwest Memphis. The Memphis Fire Department believes the fires were intentionally set over a span of 3 months in the Coral Lake area. WREG's Bria Jones joins us live from outside the downtown fire station with the latest developments. Bria, what do you know?
Well, 70, the fire department says the 8 arsons now under investigation all occurred in the same zip code. Who is responsible for these large flames at multiple locations? That's the question the Memphis Fire Department needs your help answering after 8 arsons in the 38109 zip code over 3 months in the Coral Lake area. Tyrone Griggs attends church and fixes homes in the area. He says the fires are the result of the neighborhood being neglected by the city.
I can't blame the police or the fire department because we have no visibility. It's a travesty for the city to treat the residents like this here.
Since late June, Memphis Fire has been investigating 8 cases of arson, all within a 1-mile radius, to the tune of $289,500 in estimated damages. The first was intentionally set here at this church, and the latest early Tuesday morning at this shed on Urbana Road, where they say 4 other fires were set.
When I got here today, the front and the back totally demolished.
We spotted a gas can just feet away from the charred debris inside the shed. Greg's telling us he also saw a gas can at the scene.
Actually, I saw him with the gas can yesterday.
With the area now filled with burned out homes, he believes the homeless population nearby may have had a hand in the destruction.
We have a lot of homeless people that are surviving and struggling and breaking into these homes, trying to take over. So what do? Faster we fix up, they set the house on fire.
No, right now information about a suspect is limited. If you know anything, call Crime Stoppers at 528-CASH or the state arson hotline. But now reporting live downtown, Bria Jones, WREG News, Channel 3.
Channel 3 News is the source, everybody. WREG is the source. Most of my information that comes out of pertaining to any type of crime in Memphis is I use WREG as my source. Well, guess what? A suspect has been identified. How they came across this information, I do not know. But I'm going to play you the content and let's ask the obvious questions. Why are you setting these fires in this neighborhood? Why are these houses being left behind neglected? Well, that's because the people that own the properties aren't keeping them up to par. And that's not the city's fault that the people don't want to keep their property up, but the city does have an obligation to cite homeowners for dilapidated properties, not cutting the grass, so on and so forth. Was this person evicted from their apartment home? Are they angry, mad at the world? Mad at somebody in the neighborhood? Did somebody do something to this person? You're going to be very shocked that this is a female that Memphis police are looking for. A woman has done this, not a guy, not a man. Very interesting information. Gas can left behind, plastic container with a nozzle. Why would you leave it behind? I asked this question the other day on my community board. Why would a person leave behind a gas can? Did they walk there? Did they drive up to these places and set them on fire? Well, it's probably obvious that they walked because they wouldn't want to be seen walking back with a gas can in their hand after a fire goes ablaze. So they're letting you know, yeah, I did it. I'm going to leave it right here near the house. And so what? Because wouldn't you take it with you if you were in a car? Put it in a car? So they were on foot. Now bring you information pertaining to the suspect. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, Everyday Shenanigans, $BeGanji, 129 Cash App. All stickers and chats are welcome during this live. Thank you so much for your time. This is very disturbing news. ABC 24 is the source. MFD identifies person of interest in arsons in southwest Memphis. Memphis firefighters have responded to 8 fires in the 38109 zip code in 3 months, with 6 of those happening within days of each other. This content was uploaded yesterday. Published on the 20th, but updated yesterday. Memphis Fire Department investigators said Wednesday they have identified a person of interest on a series of arsons in southwest Memphis. MFD investigators are asking for people to give them a call if they know the whereabouts of a Delana Collier, aka DC, a white female aged 19 to 25 years of age. They said the spelling above is based on tips and may not reflect the correct spelling of the name. A picture of the person of interest was not released. Memphis firefighters have responded to 8 fires in the 38109 zip code in 3 months, with 6 of those happening within days of each other, according to the MFD. Damages total $289,500. Here is a list of the fires and when and where they occurred. June 25th, 1300 block of Longcrest, $2,500 in damages. August 3rd, 5000 block of Urbana Road, $89,000 in damages. August 4th, Urbana at Rosecrest, $1,000 in damages. September 6th, 5100 block of Urbana Road, $160,000 in damages. September 6th, Urbana at Rosecrest, $1,000 in damages. September 15th, 5000 block of Bowers, $10,000 in damages. September 16th, 1100 block of Margaret, $6,000 in damages. And September 20th, 5000 block of Urbana Road, $20,000 in damages. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH or the State Arson Hotline at 1-800-726-3017. Tipsters could be eligible for a cash reward. Eight arsons believed to be done by a white female, 19 to 25 years of age. Delana Collier, aka DC. Well, let's go here. Honey, what is your problem? Why are you setting these fires? Let me guess, you played with matches as a child. You have nothing better to do with your time. So you want to go around setting fires in Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis has a lot of crime, as most of you know who follow my content and follow the local and national news. So they don't need an arsonist to add to their fury of crime down there. Murders, 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 robbery, 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 assaults, assaults, assaults. And now here comes a young person setting fires to dilapidated homes or other structures in the Southwest Memphis area. You set a church on fire, so I know your spirit is bad. Because it's one thing to just be setting fires, period, is wrong. There's no doubt about that. But to set a church on fire, you obviously want to go down in the lake of fire your damn self. You need help. Somebody turn this woman over and get your cash prize to turn this little girl over before somebody beat the hell out of this little girl. Because you're going to have a lot of bad luck. And I won't doubt that you'll probably go set some other places on fire because obviously you don't have anything to lose. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about others. Those are not your properties to be burning. And whatever your reasons and motives are for setting these fires, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because it's wrong. Now, I don't know if you were staying in these places. Somebody saw you in these places or ran you off from these places. You need a place to live. You're homeless. Well, you need to seek refuge through Memphis resources to get yourself somewhere to stay. If indeed this is your motive for setting the fires in Memphis, Tennessee. But as I said, there's no sound reason to be setting fires at all. Delana Collier, aka known as DC in the street. I'd like to know who's the person that gave the information that they believe this Delana Collier is the suspect. What led you to believe this? Did she tell you she set the fire or fires to these properties? Did you see her doing it and you decided to give this information to the police department? Who is the person that gave up the information? How did somebody come about getting this information pertaining to this white female? Did they see her leaving or going to the scene with a gas can? As I said, a plastic container was left behind. You can see the said information in this audio. Please go to my community page for the said video by WREG. Thank you so much for joining me. Next story is pertaining to two teens found in rural North Carolina. Thank you for joining me. I don't know why this person has decided to kill these two children. It's an African-American male and a Caucasian female. He was 18, she was 14. I do find it interesting that these two were friends due to their difference in age, but it's been clarified in articles that they were friends by the decedent's mother, the African-American male's mother, said they were friends. They went to neighboring towns, high schools. A teen is at large. How they came about that information, I do not know. We will chop all that up after I give you the said information. Thank you for joining me. NBC News, source number one. Two teens found dead in North Carolina woods.
The top of a red cross can be seen from Buckhorn Road, and from the air it's surrounded by flowers, marking the site where two teenagers were found dead Sunday afternoon.
And I heard about close to 10 shots going off like an automatic gun. And then I paused for a little bit, and then 5 more shots went off.
David White lives just feet away from where an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old were found dead with gunshot wounds. The Orange County Sheriff's Office said 2 men riding 4-wheelers discovered the bodies.
But he never hurt nobody. And for him to get done like this is I have to have answers.
Tiffany Concepcion is the mother of Devin Clark, an Eastern Alamance High School football player. She filed a missing persons report about an hour before her son was found next to 14-year-old Lyric Woods, a teen she says was her son's friend.
He was an athletic person. He was a good person. He was a good friend. He had a good heart.
Lyric Woods' family reported her missing on Saturday afternoon. An incident report says that Woods' stepfather last saw her home around 11 p.m. on Friday. He went to wake her up Saturday morning, but she was gone. Authorities checked hunting stands and backwood trails and used a canine to search for Lyric, her scent taking the dog into these woods. The report also states a neighbor said they saw Woods riding in a vehicle near where she was found around 3 a.m. on Saturday. Deputies believe Woods got a ride from someone in that car.
Where's the other person? Who's the person that picked either one of them up? Who is the person or people that dropped them off?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel.
All right, I want to go back and replay some of that. 1 second. This is the mother.
He was a good friend. He had a good heart.
Lyric Woods' family reported her missing on Saturday afternoon. An incident report says that Woods' stepfather last saw her home around 11 p.m. on Friday. He went to wake her up Saturday morning, but she was gone. Authorities checked hunting stands and backwood trails and used a canine to search for Lyric, her scent taking the dog into these woods. The report also states a neighbor said they saw Woods riding in a vehicle near where she was found around 3 a.m. on Saturday. Deputies believe Woods got a ride from someone in that car.
Where's the other person? Who's the person that picked either one of them up? Who is the person or people that dropped them off?
Thanks for watching our
NBC News is the source. Let's chop up what the mother has to say about her son and this young lady. They are friends. They were friends. He's supposedly went missing around 11 p.m. Friday night. So how did he get from A to B? From his home to the discarment area. Number 2, same thing for the young lady. The same person that picked up the male, did they also pick up the female? And who saw them riding around at 3 a.m. in the morning? This girl in the car with somebody. So what was the car? Color of the car? Who all was in the car? Who was driving the car? African American or Caucasian or another race? It is believed to be a teenager that's a suspect, but that doesn't mean that other people cannot be involved. What was the purpose of picking up these individuals? What were they all doing? Just joyriding, bored, wanting something to do, getting out? Were they going to smoke, drink? What? Were these two dating each other, or they were just platonic friends? How did they meet? Because I do find it odd that these two were friends at the age difference. She's 14, he's 18. I think a lot of parents would kind of find that a bit odd, having a young girl fraternizing with an 18-year-old boy, because by law, he's considered an adult. 14, you're still considered a minor. So I do find that a little bit suspect, but nonetheless, his mother saying that they were friends, blah, blah, blah. You're entitled to your opinion. Why were they discarded out there? What was the motive for getting together? Was this a get-together? Was this a setup? Somebody said, hey, let's go have some fun, whatever that fun was supposed to be, or was it really something sinister, such as funny games? And when I use the word funny games, I put it in the context of anything nefarious or suspect or deviant or diabolical. So was this a setup of funny games? We're going to play a little game with you tonight. It's not going to be what you think it's going to be. So that the person mislead them. Hey, let's go drink. Let's go whatever. Because you have to think after 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, as old people would say, ain't nothing good going on after midnight. And as you see in this case, the old people were right. Something terrible happened in the wee hour morning, Saturday. I'm going to read you content pertaining to the disappearance and the murder of these two young people. Thank you for joining me. Prayers to the families. Before I play that content, Fox 8 is the next source pertaining to the community coming together to mourn the deaths of these teens. WGHP is the source. Thank you so much for joining me. If you know where this teen suspect is, turn him over. I don't know if it's a guy, if it's a female, but turn him over, please. Thank you so much for joining me. And naturally, the name won't be released because the person is underage. But note in North Carolina, they have filed a petition to serve this person as an adult in these two homicides. Fox 8 is the source. Thank you.
Are those of two teenagers and their connections and families spread across at least two counties in the eastern Piedmont. On the left here, Lyric Woods. She was 14 years old and a ninth grader at Cedar Ridge High School in Hillsborough in Orange County. On the right, Devin Clark. He was 18 years old and a student at Eastern Alamance High School in Mebane. Both of their families described the two as friends. Both teens disappeared overnight Friday into Saturday. Lyric was reported missing Saturday. Clark was reported missing yesterday. Just hours before, two men on four-wheelers found their bodies near a power line easement here in the Buckhorn Road area, just outside Hillsborough, not far from the Alamance-Orange County line. A man who lives near the site here said he heard about 10 gunshots late Friday night or early Saturday morning. The Orange County Sheriff's Office is handling the investigation. It has not said what may have led up to this or if it's searching for anyone who may be linked to this. Good evening and welcome to the Fox 8 10 o'clock news. I'm Neil McNeil.
And I'm Katie Nordine. Tonight, teachers, coaches, friends, and family members of Devin Clark gathered to remember him at Eastern Alamance High School. Fox 8's Daryl Matthews was there. Daryl, there was this vigil this evening, and there's another one planned, correct?
That's exactly right, Katie. This was the first of another one that's set for Friday on West Holt Street here in Alamance County. And those close to Clark tell me keeping his name alive is what will possibly and hopefully bring justice to these families.
Today was a testament, a true testament to whom he was and how he lived his life, just loving everyone and always being.
This is a coach speaking.
Not a harmful bone in his body.
Balloons, tears, and prayers, honoring a person they say was taken away from them too soon.
It's going to take time, but it will heal.
But that's great to know that he had that big of an impact on the school kids. And that really goes to show, like say, he was the person.
This is a grandparent speaking.
Like say, he had so much love.
A somber and emotional day for these hundreds of students, faculty members, and football teammates as they surrounded Devin Clark's family and those who knew him best with love in their time of grief.
I felt like I lost a family member, and I cried. And I remember when I got the news, I let go of the phone and I curled up like a baby. I cried.
Early Monday, Clark was identified by Orange County Sheriff's Office as one of the victims killed Sunday afternoon on Buckhorn Road, just off the power line easement in West Orange County. Investigators say Clark's body was discovered along with 14-year-old Lyric Woods after they both were shot to death.
To know that someone would take someone's life, that there was that much hatred in this world for someone, for someone's love.
A field full of love for a person who loved his family, community just as much as he loved the game of football.
Mainly, like I say, he always would talk about making it to the pros. And I was always get them laughs. But son, you know what you got to give up and what you're going to have to give. You got to keep them grades up and make sure you make it through school.
The Alamance Burlington school system sent Fox 8 this statement saying in part, our family and community are deeply saddened about the death of one of our Eastern High School students, Devin Clark. Devin was a former Eagles football player and will always be remembered as a kind-hearted, gentle giant who was liked by his classmates.
Everything happens for a reason. If it was for no other reason than to bring us all together closer and to make us appreciate what we have a little more.
LJ says the silver lining of Clark's death is how he's bringing the communities together and to see how much he impacted each and every single person. As far as investigators go, they are still working to figure out what led up to both the teens' death, and Alamance County school officials say they have grieving counselors on campus if students need to talk. We're live in Alamance County. Darryl Matthews, Fox 8 News.
Fox 8 is the source. If you need verification for the information, all of this information is posted to my community board via the YouTube queue. Thank you so very much. I will now bring you commentary to the deaths of these two young people. Thank you for joining me. The New York Post is the source. Anger at 17-year-old suspect may be tried as juvenile in slayings of North Carolina teens. I want to see if this information will play. Hold on one second. Okay, it's just music. A shocked North Carolina community is demanding a 17-year-old accused of murdering two other teens be tried as an adult and face the death penalty, while grieving family members find themselves living in a nightmare. Questions continue to swirl Tuesday, 3 days after the bullet-riddled bodies of 14-year-old Lyric Woods and 18-year-old Devin Clark were found in a wooded trail in rural Orange County. Police are seeking an unidentified 17-year-old in the double murder, but the news that the suspect won't automatically be tried as an adult under state law sparked a fierce public outcry as the victims' families remain in the dark about how the slayings unfolded. Interesting. I'm living a nightmare, Wood's heartbroken grandfather, Stan Dean, told the News and Observer. Dean had offered a $10,000 reward for the capture of the person or persons responsible for the homicides. Cash, I need results, he wrote on Facebook. Dean told the newspaper he planted a cross with lights on it at the spot where his granddaughter's body was found because the teen was afraid of the dark. Area residents, meanwhile, called for justice and hope for a harsh punishment for the alleged shooter. It's a shame. He's a juvenile. He deserves to be held accountable and the death penalty, commented Facebook user Kevin Rigsby, a firefighter and EMT in Durham County. Tried as a juvenile, death penalty or life isn't enough for the pain both sets of parents will do life from here on out with because of this crime taken out on their kids, argued Trip Taylor, another commenter from nearby Graham, North Carolina. Clark's aunt, Crystal Hughes, told WTVD that the unanswered questions are weighing on the family as they grieve. It's hard for us to process everything that's going on because we don't have any details, she said. And we really, our lack of information is just not sitting right with us with the stuff that we're hearing and all different sides of the story. We know, hoping that the police department and investigation is going the way that it's supposed to go, but it's hard on us. And in this said article by the New York Post, you will see a picture of Woods with her family. As I said, last seen by the stepdad Friday night. The Orange County Sheriff's Office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Eastern Alamance High School student Clark, who disappeared around 11 p.m. Friday, was found dead on Sunday alongside Woods, a freshman volleyball player at nearby Cedar Ridge High School in Hillsborough, two separate schools. Woods was last seen getting into a car by a neighbor, this is the female, at 3 a.m. Saturday. She is believed to have left her stepfather's Eflin home through the back door, which was later found unlocked. She was reported missing around noon Saturday. Though Clark and Woods were from different towns, they lived in the same small, somewhat rural community intersected by I-40 and I-85 and were friends. Their high schools honored them with a moment of silence at a soccer game Monday night before the bodies were officially identified. Cedar Ridge students wore white T-shirts with Woods' name on them to school on Monday. After the bodies were identified, the teens' friends shared their sadness and disbelief on social media. Also in this said article, you will see a picture of the male, Mr. Clark, with his mother in a photograph. Why, just why, this hurts more than anything in the world, wrote one young friend on Instagram. Another friend, Yana, captioned a series of video clips of Woods with the words M and lyric, "This is SHIT rough. I'm not doing good, man. I miss you so much right now. I need one of your goofy jokes or random silly things you say to cheer me up." A separate Instagram account at Remembering Lyric 2022 was started on Tuesday. The latest post, which included a selfie of Woods with makeup and curled hair, was captioned, "Her smile is everything," alongside the hashtag Remembering Lyric Woods. And inside this article as well is a cross that was put upon the discarment area, red cross with flowers laid around the cross. This is in Mabine, I guess it's Mebane, North Carolina. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the town correctly. Wood's sister Caroline also posted an Instagram tribute. "Rest easy to my beautiful, beloved sister and best friend. Even when she was at her lowest, she still found a way to make everyone smile and laugh. I know you're always going to be watching over me, especially tonight as I'm trying to find a way to process all of this." Next photograph is of the decedent's black male, Mr. Clark. "I would never expect that to happen to him," Clark's friend Dontrell Lee told WTVD. "The way he went out just really hurts." Both Lee and another friend, Eric Battle, attended a balloon release in Clark's honor on the East Alamance football field on Monday. "I have to face the fact that I'm going to be here for the rest of my life until I go to the other side without needing my brother or being able to hear my brother's voice," Battle said. Thank you for joining me. New York Post is the source for that said information. Some very baffling information going on here. Now, naturally, as this relative said pertaining to social media, there's going to be a lot of he said and she said in this case, just like any case, true crime. And some will partake in the gossip and repeating of things, not knowing if it's true or not. But as they always say in the street, there's a little bit of truth to the gossip. So what will be the truth? What are they saying in North Carolina? I do not know. I don't go to social media much to dig into the hype pertaining to allegations in a homicide, because usually that's the start of drama when you start repeating what happened and the motive for the murder or murders. So I don't want to indulge in that until an arrest is made, and then we can hypothesize on the murder and the motive of the individuals. Very baffling information. So let's chop up what's been said. Thank you for joining me, everybody in the chat and the viewing audience. The black male, who's the oldest, 18, was friends with a 14-year-old Caucasian girl. And as I said, many people might suspect, why were these two friends? Because there is a big age difference. 14 to 18 is a big difference because at 18, you're going into adulthood. It also states that he was a former football player, but they list him as a student. So why is he not playing on the football team? I am curious to know that. I do find that interesting. How long were they friends? How did they meet? Did they date? Did they mess around? Who's our third party? Is this a male or a female that officials are looking for in North Carolina? Where is this person? Are they hiding out in North Carolina, or have they left the state? How did they all meet up? Who is the carrier of all these individuals? How did the boy, which is a man now, Mr. Clark, the black male, how did he get to the discarment area? Did he get in the car with the girl and the suspect? Were there other people in the car? Did others participate in the murders of these two? You hear a male, older white male, speak of hearing 10 gunshots, at least 10. So that means this was rage, because it only takes one bullet to hit the right vein. Stay woke, everybody. So why did you need to shoot off that many bullets if indeed more than 2 were administered to the victims? Who is our suspect? It is a teenager, 17 years of age, the community is calling that this person be tried as an adult. I've brought you all said information in the past about trying a child as an adult for a crime. Should a child be charged as an adult? Because obviously North Carolina has laws pertaining to children being tried as adults. Many will say, well, it depends on the crime. What did they do? They used a weapon. Naturally, Tennessee is one of those states. Penalties are harsher if indeed you carried a weapon to the scene and a person died in the commencement of a robbery, theft. So what is the motive behind the deaths of these two? Did the two get in the car with the suspect, or did they meet them somewhere with somebody, jump from car to car? I don't know. I find it interesting. The boy child, now adult basically, went missing, left the home 11 p.m. allegedly. The girl was seen getting in a car allegedly at 3 a.m. by a neighbor or somebody. Who's the somebody that saw the girl child getting in the car? Whose car was it that she got into? Were there others in the car that she got into? Who the hell was up at 3 a.m. to see her getting in the car? Say, whoa. What did I tell you all? Nobody sleeps. There is always an eye in the sky. There's always somebody watching, always somebody lurking, always somebody that knows what you're doing when you're coming and when you're going. I tell you all that all the time. They may never tell you that they saw you coming and going, who went in your house, color shoes you had on yesterday, but they saw you. So here we go. Doorbell camera, is that our witness? Ring cameras. Somebody had a doorbell camera and it captured the young lady getting into a vehicle. But she exited allegedly the back door from the stepfather's house. And they did say the door was unlocked next day. So that means she what? Exited out. Was her room closest to that door? Asked not to make much noise. Why didn't you go out the front door? Stay woke, everybody. So she exited out the back door. One would use common sense to say if she was seen, had to be seen either by a person or a doorbell camera. So were there cameras on the house where she lived, and that's the eyewitness that saw her, or she walked around the front and got in the vehicle and seen by either the house she lives in, those cameras, if they have them, or cameras from the neighbors? What is the eyewitness? What is the source of the eyewitness? Why did the person murder these two? Did they have some type of animosity? Obviously they did. As the grandfather said, you wouldn't think a person would have this much hate inside of them. Well, they do, sir. And I think you know that. You're an older person. You know they do. Because everybody's not your friend. And young people have to learn the hard way, as do adults as well. But when you're younger, you don't know how to tune into your emotions properly. You have to be taught those things, how to deal with life, envy, jealousy, validation, love, emotions. And most young people don't know how to deal with their emotions. That's why they pop off. And that's why they also grow up to pop off. You have to know how to deal with emotions, feelings. And I'm damn near scared to even hear what the motive is. Because in the end, it probably won't even matter. Because when you're dealing with young people, 9 times out of 10, the motive, plural, because we have 2 dead children, it's going to be petty. Because we're going to have to rationale. What could these two have done so terrible? 2 separate people, 2 separate towns, 2 separate ages, 2 separate nationalities. What did these 2 people do to you to kill them? Is this a boy child that murdered Clark and Woods? Is this a love triangle? She liked a boy, dated a boy, he's jealous, mad, thinks she's got something going on with this black boy. What are we talking about here? Or is it a female? Could it be a jealous female? We do have females that murder as children, adults. Who is the suspect and what drove him or her to kill these kids, riddle their bodies with bullets, and leave them to die out in the middle of nowhere? What could they have done so terrible that you felt the need to kill these kids? And the fact that it's another kid should tell you something. As I told you, 9 times out of 10, this is pettiness. He said, she said, jealousy, rivalry. 9 times out of 10, it ain't nothing but that. Unless we want to go to the deeper side of the ocean and say somebody was doing something they ain't had no damn business, such as drug related. Is this an issue of drugs, purchasing narcotics? There are children who do partake in drinking and buying of drugs. Is this drug related? What are we talking about? You have to touch all points because we don't even know who the suspect is. And that's why I said you can't even assume why, because we don't even know who the suspect is. We just know it's a 17-year-old. So it's just a love triangle. Somebody's mad at somebody. Somebody dated one of them. Could it be somebody dated the guy? I don't know. I don't even know if the boy likes girls or boys. I don't know because I don't even know him. Don't know much about the girl. But I know it's bad. This is real bad. Because nonetheless, these are children. One coming out of childhood, the 18-year-old, he would be considered an adult. And like I said, the article states he's a former football player from his high school. So I have to ask myself if indeed he is actually, at the time of death, he was a student. Why was he not playing football? Did he have an injury, hurt himself? What happened? Was he newly released from the team? He quit the team, let go from the team. What's going on with that? Because I'm kind of curious. You know, I touch all points of a story. I'm going to ask every question because I go by the information that has been given. And I'm going to say personally, I don't believe in a 14-year-old fraternizing with an 18-year-old. That's too big of a gap for children to be hanging with each other. Even if there's parents know each other, friends of friends, it's a bad idea. To me. You may think different, you're entitled to your opinion. But I don't agree with a 14-year-old fraternizing with an 18-year-old. I just don't. Because that's a big difference in conversation, goals, hobbies. 18 years old, you're stepping out into the world. Allegedly. 14 years old, you're just coming into being a preteen. You're not even really a full teenager at 14. Some 14-year-olds don't even have major privileges at that age, depending on how they're raised. So 14 to 18, that's a big difference. Were these two kids dating each other? The boy and the girl. As I said, how did they meet? Social media, football game, extracurricular activities at a local mall, church, friends of friends. Are there other parties involved in the murders of Clark and Woods? Were there other people in the car? Because we know that the girl got in the car at 3 a.m. allegedly with somebody. So who's the somebody that was driving? Is this the suspect? Did she get in the car with the suspect? Did the suspect have other parties in the car? Do we have other eyewitnesses to the murders of Clark and Woods? This will be even more disturbing if we find out others are involved in the murders. And as I said, it's just an elaborate setup of murdering these two kids. They were led to their deaths in this rural area of North Carolina. Hey, let's take a ride. Hey, let's go smoke. As I said, were these children involved in drugs, smoking reefer, drinking what? The fact that the young girl snuck out her house at 3 a.m. should tell you something. No 14-year-old has any business being out and about after 11, after 12, and especially 3 a.m. So we have to ask ourselves, that question. Has the young girl been sneaking out beforehand? Was she a troublemaker? Did she get in trouble? Has she been in trouble, broken the law? Same thing for Mr. Clark. He's 18 years of age. Has he been in trouble, broken the law? Does he have a record, a sealed record? Do both of these victims have sealed records for getting in trouble? What have they done? What have they been doing? What do they do when they get out of school? Who are the people they're hanging around? Are they hanging around with similar kids? Because once again, they do not live in the same area. So now you got to ask yourself how in the hell they got with the suspects. Stay woke. What's the circumference of the town? The distance between the two areas that they live in. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Stay woke, everybody. Because I believe the area they were discarded is close to woods, which is the female. Did the person know about this area to dump the bodies? Why that area? Possibly because she was the last one got picked up. Stay woke. Because if you follow the timeline, Mr. Clark left the house at 11 or last seen at 11. So that puts him at number 1, earlier than victim number 2. So that means suspect picked up victim number 1, which was Mr. Clark. They then went and proceeded to pick up victim number 2. There's your timeline at 3 a.m. So what was Clark doing before 3 a.m.? Running around, hanging around with the suspect, goofing off, video game playing, what? Break it down for the queen. Who knows the truth? That's why I said, are we talking about other people involved? Because from 11 to 3 a.m., that's a stretch. So what was Clark doing for all those hours before meeting up with Miss Woods? See, that's where it becomes dicey. You're talking about a 4-hour window. So what was Clark doing before he crossed paths with Miss Woods? Who called whom first? What was the conversation? What will their devices reveal? Possibly the motive for what happened. Because naturally, they've talked, texted. Young people love to text. Can't stand to talk verbally on a phone. Everything's in a text. So who called whom first, texted whom first? What was the conversation? Had they been talking all evening, all night? Hey, we're going to come swing, pick you up. Okay, I'm going to sneak out. Imagine that. 14-year-old girl running around the city, county, unsupervised in the company of men, because at 18, he's a man. Stay woke now. They use the word teens because 18's got a teen on the end of it, but by law, you're considered an adult. But that doesn't mean your mindset is of an adult. So a 14-year-old is sneaking out at 3 a.m. to be in the company of a black boy, man, however you want to word it, at 3 a.m. Plus a 17-year-old, because the 17-year-old had to be in their company to get them dead. Because you don't hear of another vehicle being at the scene of the discarment area. Sure, there's tracks left behind by the car or vehicle left something. Was there anything else left behind at the scene besides the 2 victims? Side by side. 18-year-old black boy and a 14-year-old white girl. Put that on paper. I'm sure there's a lot of gossip going on over there in North Carolina right now. I won't doubt that. And I'm sure somebody knows the truth, because there's always somebody that knows the truth. We know the 17-year-old that they are searching for knows a whole lot. Knows a whole lot. And what does that person know? Why they did it? It's very strange. Or is it strange? Deliberate. I want to reread this information to make sure I'm repeating everything correctly. It says a shocked North Carolina community is demanding a 17-year-old accused of murdering two other teens be tried as an adult. Police are seeking an unidentified 17-year-old in the double murder, but the news that the suspect won't automatically be tried as an adult under state law. So seeking means they're looking for, so they don't have him in custody. This is bad. This is real bad. Hello, everybody. Let's read this information here from 2 days ago. A 17-year-old has been charged, so this is present tense then, with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of missing North Carolina teens Lyric Woods and Devin Clark, according to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The 2 were found dead Saturday afternoon, a day after their families last reported seeing them. Under state law, 16 and 17-year-old suspects are not automatically charged as adults. However, due to the gravity of the crime, Sheriff Charles Blackwood said the case could be transferred to an adult court if the court finds probable cause. I want to thank the families of Devin Clark and Lyric Woods for trusting us and the investigative process during this excruciatingly painful time, Blackwood said Tuesday. I hope the apprehension of the subject will bring them some comfort as they mourn their loved ones. So see, it's almost like 2 different statements. One statement, it sounds like they're looking for the person. Then 1 minute it's saying they're charged. So obviously they know something, but they don't have the suspects. Because I want to make sure I'm reading this properly. Because it says, I hope the apprehension of the subject will bring them some comfort as they mourn their loved ones. I hope the apprehension. So that sounds like they got the person. Through the hard work of my investigators, along with the assistance of personnel from many other law enforcement agencies, we have identified a suspect in this case, Blackwood said. We will now work with local, state, and federal authorities to apprehend and present the suspect to the court system. We will now work with local, state, and federal authorities to apprehend and present. So that still sounds like they don't have the person. This is just strange. Lyric 14, Clark 18 were last seen by family members on Friday, according to authorities. They were friends but not dating. Let me make that clear. This is uploaded 2 days ago. So know that in a story, anything is liable to change. Lyric is 14, Clark is 18. They were last seen by family members on Friday, according to authorities. They were friends but not dating, family members told Fox News Digital, and are believed to have been picked up by an unidentified adult in an unknown vehicle. Investigators described Lyric as a 9th grader at Cedar Ridge High School in Hillsborough. 2 men riding 4-wheel ATVs found the remains Saturday afternoon in a trail under the power lines a few miles from Lyric's mother's house. Anyone with information is asked to call Orange County Sheriff's Office investigator Keith Goodwin at 919-245-2918. Lyric was a 9th grade student at Cedar Ridge High School in Hillsborough. Clark was a junior at Eastern Alamance High School in Mabay. So that's interesting. He's a junior but 18. Maybe he's a year behind in school. Very interesting. This is by Fox 10 Phoenix, this information. This was uploaded 2 days ago, but updated 1 day ago. So a 17-year-old has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of the 2. But it doesn't mean that a 16-year-old or 17-year-old will be automatically charged as an adult. But as they said, due to the gravity of the crime, Sheriff Charles Blackwood said the case could be transferred to an adult court if the court finds probable cause. I hope the apprehension of this subject will bring them comfort as they mourn their loved ones. So I'm assuming they're apprehended. I'm wondering if they're going to release the name. That's what I'm curious about. I want to put something else in here. Let's see what else I can come up. Okay, this was uploaded an hour ago. Going to bring you the latest. Trying to keep up with everything that's being reported. This is by 11 ABC. 17-year-old remains at large more than 24 hours after being charged with killing 2 high schoolers. See, that's why I want to make sure when I repeat something, because sometimes it comes out one way and it means another. So I want to make sure I'm being appropriate in my information. Because I knew when I was reading it, it didn't sound like they had the suspect. So I just want to make sure I get this out correctly. More than 24 hours after investigators said they know who killed the 2 high school students, that suspect remains at large. The Orange County Sheriff's Office said Wednesday that there's nothing new to report on the search for the 17-year-old, who investigators have charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of Lyric Woods, 14, and Devin Clark, 18. Investigators have not released the suspect's name, citing the fact that the suspect is a juvenile and by North Carolina law has not yet been formally charged in the adult judicial system. So I guess most of you understand, until the person is brought in and then moved over to adult court, if the courts deem that person to be tried as an adult, they can't release the name of the suspect. Orange County's acting district attorney and the attorney who will be trying the case said a decision has not yet been made on whether to try the suspect as an adult. That call won't be made until an arrest is made. Wood's grandfather, who previously offered $10,000 reward in the case, was back at the scene of the crime Wednesday. He was putting up solar lights around a cross he made to honor his granddaughter. He said the family is still struggling to cope with the loss. Clark's mother told ABC 11 that her family is happy investigators have a suspect. Both families are planning separate events to honor the teens. Cedar Ridge High School will honor Woods at its home volleyball game Thursday night. Likewise, a vigil for Clark is planned for Thursday in Caswell County. What we learned Tuesday. A juvenile petition for 2 counts of first-degree murder was filed Tuesday afternoon with the Division of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. The suspect's names has not been released because they are not an adult. Since December 2019, 16, 17-year-olds who commit crimes in North Carolina are not automatically charged as adults. However, with probable cause, a judge has the ability to transfer the case into the adult justice system. I want to thank the families of Devin Clark, Lyric Woods for trusting us in the investigative process during this excruciatingly painful time, Blackwood said. I hope the apprehension of the subject will bring them some comfort as they mourn their loved ones. Legal experts say under North Carolina Juvenile Justice Act, details surrounding the case may be limited. Very interesting. The juvenile protections will be available to this individual until there is a court determination that they should be prosecuted as an adult. But that's an exception to the statute that allows for prompt movement. So initially, there is just a level of confidentiality that's going to apply, explained North Carolina Central University law professor Irving Joyner, who has been following the case. There has been information provided to law enforcement that quickly led to the identification of this suspect and then the decision by law enforcement to arrest a particular individual. So that means that there was, a strong trail that was there that led to that person. Woods was a freshman at Cedar Ridge High School. She played volleyball on a travel team. Some of her friends played on the Cedar Ridge High School volleyball team. That team is dedicating its game Tuesday night against Jordan High School. We will miss her bright smile and enthusiasm for the game. Our AIM VB family is truly saddened by this tragic situation. AIM Volleyball Club Director Nancy Cates said, students at Cedar Ridge High School have also been wearing white t-shirts with Lyric Woods' name on them to class this week. Clark was a senior at Eastern Alamance High School. His favorite number was 4, and that's why his nickname was Deuce 2 times. His mother said a memorial in his honor was being planned for Thursday. Plans for his funeral are also still being discussed. Clark loved riding dirt bikes. In his honor, friends and family plan to do a dirt bike ride-along in Mabane around 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. So this article just goes back in time to how the children became missing persons. Parents putting out missing persons report over the children over the weekend. And once again, Lyric Woods is the Caucasian female. She was 14 years of age, and Devin Clark, the black male, 18. Causes of death have not yet been determined. Investigators expect to receive that information from the medical examiner's report in the near future. According to the sheriff's office, family members reported Woods missing Saturday afternoon, and a deputy entered the information into the National Crime Information Center Index, NCIC, around 3:44 p.m. The family said they went to sleep Friday night with the back door of the home locked. When they woke up Saturday, the back door had been unlocked and no evidence of a forced entry. Clark's family contacted the Mabane Police Department on Sunday with concerns about his whereabouts. An officer entered him into the NCIC approximately 1:42 p.m. Now, I'm going to ask the obvious question with the black male's family. Why did you all wait to report him missing on Sunday? He left the house on Friday. Why would you wait that long a period of time? That's a long time. From Friday night till Sunday afternoon. This is very strange to me. Is he known to run away, go away, stay away? Let me ask that. I don't know. Maybe so. Because I find it odd to wait that long to report him missing. Oh, Lord have mercy. Parents along with Hate Free Schools Coalition gave teens a safe space to process their grief. Dana Jones, ninth grade student, and a few dozen students gathered Wednesday night in front of the Orange County Courthouse where they expressed their thoughts, emotions surrounding their classmates. I don't think people realize how much it hurts, said Jones. I walked in the bathroom early and seen a girl crying because she knew Lyric. We hugged each other and cried it out. Mallory Thornton was there to support her daughter through her grief. She said it hasn't been enough. It's really hard. There's no time to process anything that's happening, said Mia Thornton. School districts have made grief counselors and support services available for students. These children are actually hurting, as you heard tonight. They are hurting. They are scared. They're terrified. They don't have an outlet to express themselves, and that's why I came out here tonight asking them to come to express how they feel, Thornton said. The investigation remains active. Anyone with additional information is asked to call investigator Keith Goodwin at 919-245-2918. This is by ABC11.com. This information was just uploaded by 11 ABC 1 hour ago. So as of an hour ago, the suspect is still at large, 17-year-old. They do not specify if it's a male or female. Trying to get this information to play.
A vigil will be held to honor the life of one of 2 teenagers found murdered A vigil will be held to honor the life of one of two teenagers found murdered along a wooded trail in Orange County. The bodies of 18-year-old Devin Clark and 14-year-old Lyric Woods were found over the weekend. Police have identified a person of interest, but have yet to make an arrest. Elena Athens joins us live now with more on this case. Elena, good afternoon.
Yeah, the sheriff, Barbara, telling me there's no new information to report, but that his office is methodically working towards the arrest of that 17-year-old suspect. We did just get in the 911 call that was placed when the bodies were discovered.
There's a power, there's an access to, like, where the power company cut a road in. They're just laying around the side of the road. Came when we were on a four-wheeler, and we were actually putting out deer and we discovered them.
The victims were found with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. The slain teens are going to be honored tonight at two separate events. Lyric Woods played volleyball on a travel league and just started 9th grade at Cedar Ridge High School when she was killed. A home volleyball game tonight against Person High will be played in her memory. Around that same time, family and friends of Devin Clark will be gathering in Yanceyville. There will be a vigil. The 18-year-old's mom is asking people to bring candles. A balloon release will follow, and they'll be using his favorite colors, blue and black. The community is offering support to both families right now in another way. Donations flowing in for online fundraisers to pay for funeral expenses. I checked the accounts about an hour ago, the one for Woods exceeding its goal and raising more than $23,000. The fundraiser for Clark doubling its goal and bringing in more than $24,000. We know both families are desperate to learn who is responsible for these murders, and they want justice. The Orange County District Attorney's Office says they do not know yet if they're going to be charging this teen as an adult. They're going to wait until there's an arrest to make that call. We're live in Orange County. Elena Athens, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Well, good detailed information there. I'm so glad that I was able to play that for you guys. 11 ABC News is the source. This is an ongoing investigation. Naturally, a suspect is still at large. A 17-year-old is a suspect. They have not identified if the suspect is a male or a female. You got to hear the 911 call into the dispatch of the children being found. And as you heard the person, I believe their voice has been distorted as not to give out the person's identification in case someone recognized their voice. They were just laying on the side of the road. Laying on the side of the road. So let me say this, because this is something I did not think about when I was giving my commentary earlier. Thank you all so much for joining me. This was a two-part live pertaining to an arsonist in Memphis, Tennessee, that's been identified as a 19 to 25-year-old Caucasian female. Delana Collier, if you know her, known as DC in the street. Please call the Memphis Fire Department. And the second part of this live is pertaining to two teens found discarded in rural North Carolina. Also a suspect ID. I do find it interesting. Two suspects have been ID'd in each case that I'm discussing on this network today. Who is our suspect and why did he or she kill these kids? Something I did not think about before. Is it possible that the children were killed elsewhere? Bingo card. And discarded there. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying to you? As I said earlier in this commentary, could this be an issue of funny games? We're all going to get together, smoke, drink, talk, laugh, do some other things. I don't know, because I don't know these kids to say what they were doing, what they're into. But could this be an issue that they were led there, took there, murdered there, or murdered elsewhere and discarded there? What? What do we say? What will the evidence show? That's why I said, was anything left behind at the scene? Because we don't even know if maybe they were murdered elsewhere and dumped there. Could it be that? Could they went to somebody else's house, have some fun? I don't know. And dumped there. Or taken there deliberately to be executed only. Or something jumped off when they all were together. Somebody said something somebody didn't like. Oh, you got jokes? Okay, I'll show you. And then what the hell is a 17-year-old doing with a gun? How about that? See, the possibilities are endless, yes. Because we don't know who the suspect is. We don't know the suspect's dealings with the two. And you've got to ask yourself, how in the world could it even come to be you're killing an 18-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl? As I told you, the ages are different. And there's a big difference between a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old. So what the hell could these two have done to you for you to want to kill them? Was this a drug exchange? Drug exchange gone bad? Did somebody think the boy had something of value? But then how did the girl play a part into it? So is this some type of rivalry? Jealous of him, jealous of their friendship. They're saying that there was no relationship between the two. So are we talking about some dusty ass boy child jealous of the black boy and the white girl's friendship? What are we talking about? Who is our damn suspect? At 17, you ought to be able to give us the name. I ain't worried about no confidentiality, because if you're grown enough to carry a gun illegally, no license, underage, and you just murdered two people, I don't give a damn about your damn government name being mentioned. What do I care? Because you're bold enough to kill them, then your name should be revealed to the public. That's how I feel. The suspect is underage. That's why the name cannot be released. 17-year-old suspect has been identified in the murder of Mr. Clark and Miss Woods. The suspect is at large as of an hour ago. 11 ABC News is the source. So somebody or something gave away our suspect. How, I do not know. I don't know the details. I do not even know the manner of death. But a community member has said he heard at least 10 gunshots in the general area. So as I said in my commentary, why would you shoot these kids this many times? It only takes one time. And if you took them out there deliberately to murder them, you could have shot them, as most of you know, in the head. And 9 times out of 10, you leave them there, they would bleed out. They wouldn't have a chance at survival because nobody knows they're out there. And it's not to be prolific, but just using common sense, why would you need to shoot them more than one time? So this sounds personal to me. This sounds personal to me. Yes, for public safety, that would be a good idea to mention the person's name, because we know that they're violent. You killed 2 kids, so you're violent. Doesn't really matter who the people are. You took 2 lives. And as I said, 9 times out of 10 at the age of 17, the reasoning and the motives are petty. They have no value. They have no substance. But as I said, most young people do not know how to deal with their emotions, their feelings, and they just act out. Compulsive. Many young people are compulsive. That's why they make the mistakes they make in life. Because no one has talked to them about dealing with their emotions, dealing with their feelings, how to deal with stress, how to deal with disappointment, disapproval, bullying, everything you can think of. Most people don't talk to their children. So now here we have 2 dead kids, and we got to figure out the who and the why. And as I said, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be something just as petty as all get out. Possibly somebody was jealous of the other one. Somebody was jealous of the girl. How about that? He likes her. She likes him. Nobody likes me. I'll get them. I don't know. I have no idea why these children are no longer alive. I don't know why anybody would take them out there, either already deceased or kill them out there. I don't know. But when I get to said information, I will bring you an update as law officials seek a suspect. The suspect is at large. It is a 17-year-old. They have not identified if it is a male or a female. I have not heard of any other accomplices, but I am curious to how they got information to the suspect. What is the source of the information? Doorbell cameras in the general area. Someone saw the suspect picking up the children. Somebody saw the children getting in the car with the suspect. Are there other accomplices? And who is holding the secret to what happened last Saturday? And why is a 14-year-old hanging with an 18-year-old? Just saying, how did they meet? The family says they weren't dating, but were they dating? Because naturally, we all know that it's not a good idea for a 14-year-old girl to be dating an 18-year-old man. By law, he's a man. And in most households, that would be unacceptable. But maybe these are new style parents that wouldn't mind their 14-year-old and 18-year-old dating, and also opposite race. And what's the demographic of the area? Predominantly white, predominantly black? Is this a racial issue? Bingo card. Chop it up. What are we talking about here? I've gone from A to G already. I'm not even halfway through the alphabet. Of the motives for the murders of these two. Could be anything. Rivalry of either party. Jealousy of either party. Something personal they think these two have done. Could be a drug transaction. Could be robbery. Was anything stolen from the two? Anything missing from the two? Jewelry, cell phones, what? Very strange. It's only worse when you don't have anything. One, you don't have the suspect's name. But I'm wondering what they're saying in North Carolina about the suspect. I wonder if somebody has revealed the suspect's name, because you're talking about rural America. So 9 times out of 10, everybody in the area already knows who the suspect is. We don't know because we don't live there. But I'm sure they're gaping and talking on Facebook, Instagram. They're probably talking about who the suspect is, and they're probably already talking about a motive for the murders of these two. So we have to ask ourselves all the obvious questions. Once again, were the two dating, but the family didn't know? They didn't admit it to the family. Did they not want to admit it because they're both different races, different ages? Is there another party that they were dating that possibly was jealous? Did somebody else like one of the two and was jealous of the two's friendship or thought they had something going on? Or is it a third party of them all three messing around with each other? Menage a trois, I don't know. That's a heavy subject for 3 young people. But hey, young people get down like grown people get down nowadays. And as I said, these younger people are having children. They're not raising their children the old school way. So you really don't know what type of environment these 2 children were raised in, what type of parents they have. And I'm not here to judge their parents, but I'm just going to keep it real. Back in my day, a 14-year-old girl would not be hanging with an 18-year-old black boy child, whether you want to involve race or not. It wasn't going down in my day. It wasn't going down in my day. A 14-year-old girl, in my opinion, doesn't have any business hanging with an 18-year-old boy. It's too young. She just started 9th grade. So that should tell you something. But then he's a junior, which statistically they're 2 grades apart. But the point is, his age is later for a person that would be a junior. If you get my drift. Most juniors are 16 years of age, depending on when their birthday falls. So I think he was behind a grade. Behind a grade or late birthday. Take your pick. But I don't know if I condone. I don't have to say I don't know. I do know. My 14-year-old girl wouldn't be hanging with an 18-year-old boy. That's it. But we have social media now. So that is the way that most people meet and greet nowadays, children and grown-ups. And the fact that she snuck out of her house should tell you something right there. Has she been sneaking out before? Did they have a handle on her parents? Because one minute they labeled the article as the stepfather's house. Then the next article I read says the mother's home. So which is it? The mother and the stepfather's home? Or it's just the way they worded it? Is it the father's house, stepfather's house, or what? Back door unlocked, no forced entry. So she walked out. But why would she walk out at 3 a.m.? Stay woke, everybody. Has she been sneaking out beforehand? Is she wayward? Is he wayward? Have these children been in trouble before? Have they been in the judicial system before? Were they actually dating? Having sexual relations, the 14-year-old and the 18-year-old. that they lied because they knew it would be unacceptable by either party's parent. And is this a racial issue? Ask all the questions. I'm going to end this live here. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. So I don't have that many people in the chat. I'm not going to drop the link. But when I get more information pertaining to the suspect in the Memphis arsons, I will bring you that said commentary. They do have a suspect ID. She's a Caucasian female. They don't have adequate name and age, but her age is ranging from 19 to 25. She's known as DC in the area. If you know anything about this female, please call the Memphis Police Department with the said information, where she can be located and what you're doing. I'm not going to call you Miss Lady because you're not a lady. You're a thing. You're vile, and I hope they arrest you soon before you do more damage down there in Memphis, because you don't have any damn business setting fires down there. As for this case, the 17-year-old is at large. I'm praying that they apprehend this person, because this person is a danger and a threat to our society, because they're running around shooting kids for whatever reason. I don't know what the reasons are, but like I said, 9 times out of 10, they're petty and they're irrelevant. And I hope this person is apprehended as well. And yes, this person needs to be charged and tried as an adult. And the sick part of this story is, because it's a 17-year-old, down the road, depending on how and if the person is charged as an adult or not, they could possibly get off, even though 2 people are dead. They could not get off, but possibly a lighter sentence. But we'll have to see what the motive is. But as I said, I can't see logically the person not getting a lot of time anyway, whether they're charged as a child or an adult, because 2 people are dead. They didn't wound 2 people. They killed 2 people. So whether the person is charged as a child or charged as an adult, you can't erase the fact that we now have 2 dead people. They're not coming back. They didn't get a chance to go to college, play pro ball, meet and greet, marry, have children, live a full life. Very sad. I'm sure these young people had aspirations to do something with themselves, but they were not afforded that opportunity last Saturday. And I don't know the motives for these murders, but as I said, nonetheless, they're probably frivolous in nature, because as I said, a lot of young people are compulsive and they don't know how to deal with their emotions. And usually when they're wayward as young people, they also grow up to be wayward adults. So 9 times out of 10, this person, had they not murdered these 2 teens, he or she would have gone out here and possibly done this over the age of 18, because they haven't yet learned how to deal and cope with their feelings. And this is why you people who have children, you need to start talking to your children early on in life about the world. Difference of opinions, difference in religions, difference in raising, difference in biasness, racial issues, weight, nationalities, gender, all of that. Because it's these little things that you don't tell your children that become big things later in life. And your children need to know how to deal with different people, stress, adverse situations, circumstances, financial situations. You need to start talking to your children early. You need to talk to your children about emotions, validation, bullying, rivalry, jealousy, envy-hearted individuals, sex. Your children should not learn anything I just named in the street or by their friends or their comrades. You, the parents, should be talking to your children about everything I just named. Abuse, verbal, physical. Don't let your children become a victim of circumstance, happenstance, because you were too ornery and shameful to talk to your child. So you should talk to your children about relationships, courtships, race, everything. And if you don't know how to talk, then find somebody that can. Because in the end, we don't know what happened here. I'm sure, as I said, people are swirling and talking already in North Carolina. I don't live over there to know what's going on. And I dare not tread to Facebook because I don't want to get down into the belly of the beast with that he said, she said stuff. Because it can get real nasty when you start repeating rumors before you even get a suspect arrested. I'd rather have the suspect's name first. And why do you say it's a cover-up? Would you like to hit the link to give your opinion instead of commenting in the chat? I thought of it being something else besides a 17-year-old. The only reason why I haven't really given my opinion of what I thought possibly happened is because, one, as I said, I don't want to put out something I don't know is true. And two, they have a suspect, so I don't have to give my opinion on what I thought it could be. But that's the whole point of why you can't sometimes say what you think something is until you have all the facts. Because I don't know these people. I don't know the parents. I don't know the community. And I don't know the children. So why do you think it's a cover-up? Nothing's been released for us to assume it's a cover-up. A cover-up such as what? See, this is why I don't like y'all texting stuff. Because I can't speak for you through the computer. Danita, would you like me to give you the link so you can come up and give us your opinion before I check out of here? They just told you why nothing's been released. It is a minor child who's committed the crime. You must not have been listening. The law says you can't release the name of a suspect if they are underage. That's the law. Well, they can't. If you have a problem with what's going on in North Carolina, I suggest you call the officials over there. I've already given you the information via a source. And the law is the law. The law is to protect minors, whether they are guilty, innocent, and that's why we have a judicial system for them to prove your innocence or guilt. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. All super chats and stickers are welcome during my lives. It's the law in most states to protect minors. I didn't think I needed to explain it to anybody. That's the reason why your records are sealed when you commit crimes as children. They usually only reveal things later in life when you're an adult and you've continued to commit crimes. Then they will release what you were accused of and charged with as a minor when you've committed crimes as an adult. Wow. You all have a wonderful afternoon. God bless all of you. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.